Hi, I'm Barry from Rock Solid, and today we're going to be focusing on the core. But most importantly, we're going to look at what is the core, why we need the core, and how can we improve our core. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So what is the core? I hear a lot of people saying, I want a six-pack, I want strong abs, I want a flat tummy, but all they do, they tend to work on their rectus abdominis, you know, your six-pack. But without a good core, without a good understanding of what the core is, how can we actually work it? So the core is actually made up of like a cube, okay? It starts off with our diaphragm. Yes, our diaphragm is actually part of our core. Our pelvic floor, which sits at the bottom. Transverse abdominis, which is like the human girdle. It sits really deep underneath all of our superficial muscles. And then we've got the muscles in our back, which is the multifidus. So these four blocks here create this nice tight cube, okay? And this is what the basis of the core is. So we do need to work the pelvis floor. We do need to work our breathing with the diaphragm, and we need to work our girdle, our corset muscle, which is the TA, and we need to work multifidus. And working these four areas together creates this nice strong core. So why do we need the good strong core? Because we see these models with the six-pack and so forth. Yes, you might think they look good, but they're not functional. The functionality comes from the muscles that are deep within the body here. And these are the ones we need to work on. Because if you think of them like the foundations of a house, the foundations of your building, if they are weak, then the rest of your body or the building will be weak also. So we need to create really strong, good foundations so then we can progress and start working out to the limbs and the t-shirt or the gym or the beach muscles, so to speak. So getting this strong core is so fundamental in having good health. It prevents lower back problems. It reduces the tension on our hips, knees and ankles, and you can see how it disperses outwards and downwards. If we haven't got this strong core, we're going to have aches and pains because our auxiliary muscles are going to take the strain and try and counteract that. So the best way of doing it, I'm going to keep this really simple. So we're going to start with some really basic exercises to actually strengthen our core. As I said back just a minute ago, we need to work on our diaphragmic breathing. So the first exercise I'm going to give you is actually about controlling your breath. So what we're going to do, we're going to place our hands on our stomach, just on our lower ribs. So just as our rib cage branches out, we're going to place our hands here. And all I want you to do is take a really big deep breath in. So your ribs come up. You're going to pull your tummy inwards. So your belly button is going to go towards your spine. And I tend to think of it as sucking my abs upwards. And I'm going to hold that there. And I'm going to breathe out. But when I'm breathing out, I'm going to keep this pulled inwards. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe every last bit of air out, but keep this tight, keep it pulled in. So if I look from this way, I'm here. Sorry about my stomach, I'm going to come in. I'm going to breathe in so you can see the rib cage coming up. And I'll breathe out. And you can feel this pulling in nice and tight. And you may be able to feel it coming across your back as well. And if you can, that's a good thing. Because that means you're pulling in that multifidus. You're pulling in the transverse abdominis. You're breathing out and you're breathing in, which is working the diaphragm. And the second part is we're going to pull up that pelvic floor. We're going to contract the muscles that stopped us having a wee. So it's breathing in, pull up, hold it in and breathe out. Keep it tight. Let's do it again. Breathing in, hold it, pull up, breathe out. And if you do that between 5 and 10 times every day, this is going to become really, really strong. And this is the first exercise I want you to do. Because this is the basics. This is getting used to breathing properly, pulling in the muscles, and getting used to having the contraction in our core, rather than just tensing down in our six-pack, because that tends to over-dominate, and then if our abs over-dominate, then our core will actually turn itself off. It won't function, and it starts relying on these powerful rectus abdominis muscles and the obliques coming through. But we don't want our core to switch off. Once we've mastered that, we're going to actually progress forwards. So we're going to actually get gravity to add the resistance. So we're going to hit the floor next. So we're down in the floor position now, and we're going to do exactly the same exercise, but this time we're going to go into all fours, okay? So my hands are shoulder width apart, and my hands come directly underneath my shoulders. My knees are under my hips, and now are hip width apart, and my head's going to be in neutral spine. And all we're going to do, we're going to suck up, breathe in, pull our abs up. So we're not arching our back like so, we're keeping a nice flat back, but I'm pulling my abs in towards my spine. So I'm breathing in, sucking it up, hold, contract my pelvic floor, bringing it in and breathing out. Keeping it in and then relaxing it off. I do the same again, so breathe in, hold it in, breathe out, and relax it off. So as you can see there, it's exactly the same as what we did when we standing up, but we're just going in a horizontal plane. So that means gravity is trying to pull our abdomen downwards. So we've got to fight against gravity. And you may not think that is much difference, but these little incremental changes make a massive difference to how we actually function and how our core functions. So I've got one more exercise for you today. These are my 3 best exercises for beginners to intermediates for strengthening up the core. So we're going to stay on the floor this time, and we're going to lay ourselves down. Okay? You can see you would tend to have a natural arch in your lower back. But we're going to work on that, so we're going to actually put our hand under our back, and that is just so we can actually focus on engaging our core. And we're going to contract our abs, and we're going to slightly posteriorly tilt our pelvis so we can rotate down so our back goes flat. And we're going to push our lower back into our hand, but we're going to use it, we're going to do it using our core. So we're going to push down nice and tight, and we're going to hold that there. And we're going to be pushing down into my hand around about 30% effort. So I don't want it everything really tight, and then our rectus abdominis is going to start firing in to do that. So I just want you to push down into my hand around about 30% effort. And once you get used to that, we're going to start lifting our legs up and lower down. But if you lift your legs up and your back arches, then you've progressed too far. So we need to be able to lift our legs up without our back arching up, so we can keep that core tight and pushing down. You need to work on that until you feel comfortable doing it, and don't progress forward too quickly. Only progress when you're ready and you know you can hold that tight position in our core. And it's so important because we try to get to the end before we master the basics. But if we master the basics, we're going to progress so much quicker. If we try and rush it, we're always going to have to revert back to the beginning and start from fresh. So let's get this right. Let's really work this core and make sure it's firing in really well. And then we can progress. And then once we have a strong core, we can work on anything else because that's the basics. So if you like this video, if this video has really helped you out, just give us a thumbs up. And if you like to see more videos, put them in the comments box, because if whatever you want to see when it comes to training, when it comes to your body, when it comes to the functionality of our body, let me know and I'll put some videos together. Just stick your comments in below. And if you really like what you see, whack the subscribe button for us. I really appreciate your help. See you on the next video.